Hello, you're watching the Tov Jewish News Channel. With me today is lawyer Ilan ציאון, the initiator of the security barrier in Judea and Samaria and Israel. Ilan, welcome.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too, Ilan. So we've seen recently the war in the Gaza envelope, in all the area surrounding Gaza, and the horrible massacre that Hamas has done in this area. And do you see it as a step in Islam's conquest and domination over the West?
I think it's absolutely clear. We have to understand that the whole Western world is under attack of Islam. Not only, by the way, the Western world, also other parts of the world, for example, Africa, East Asia. But yes, we are part of this. This is a part of a process of the Islam becoming dominant all over the world, and this is its aim, to obliterate other religions. And Israel is one of the fronts. I mean, we are Jewish Israelis living in Israel. According to Islam, this is an Islamic land. And we are under attack, of course, from the Hamas.
Under this basis, yeah. What is the reason that you see that Israel is such an acute topic in, the Muslim, the Arab conscience? Why is this fight specifically so important to them? They have other areas of war, for example, in Chechnya, right? Or in the Balkan region with all the Bosnia war. Why Israel specifically?
Well, first of all, that's a good question. First of all, I think that everything matters to them. Even in the United States, England, and every place. We're just now in a position where it's more easier, I think, for them, because we have here also this notion of the Palestinians who lived here, and they believe, according to their national beliefs, that they need to conquer Israel back from the Jewish Israelis. So the national idea and the Islamic idea are connected together, and it's easier maybe. But let be no mistake about that. The same process would take place in all Western countries. This is only a question of time. And this is a grim forecast, but that's reality. Yeah.
So we've also recently seen all the huge thousands of people demonstrations in the Western world, in London, in Paris, in America, right? And do you see those huge pro-Palestinian demonstrations as the show of power of the Muslim world in the West? Because now their enemy is Israel, and their demonstrations will go under the pro-Palestinian banner. But when in another time their enemy will be, for example, France or America, the banner will change. Do you see it the same way I see it?
I think your analysis is right. I think it's exactly said at the point. What we see now is just another banner. I agree with you, and there are some aspects of that, because when they use this power against their own countries, the countries, have to change. Their attitude toward Israel. And we can see the change of attitude from those countries toward Israel. Israel is becoming more and more secluded internationally, and this process is because of this enormous power of Islam and all these supporters of the Palestinian idea. And it's even get stronger by the way we act, because we act in Israel these days, let's say in defeatism. We choose the way to try to release terrorists for the hostages, for example. This is unheard of. By Muslim ears. Even in our standards in the past, in the 70s, in the 1970s, Israelis never thought about releasing terrorists for
freeing hostages,
especially for terror organizations. Everybody remembers the Munich, the Olympic Games in Munich, and the attack against the Israelis. Nobody ever even thought about considering the idea of releasing one terrorists for this sportsmen, and of course they paid for it in their lives. And even their families of these sportsmen never accused the Israeli government, the Golda government, who didn't want to have any negotiations with Black September for releasing the hostages. So what we are doing now in Israel, we are just showing how weak we are.
You've said a very interesting point. You said that the moment you negotiate with terrorists and you release terrorists for them to release your hostages, the Muslim eyes see it as a weakness. But how exactly do they see all the ordeal with releasing hostages in their perception?
What do you mean? I mean, this is the point. They see it as a weakness, as cowardice. It's for them that they see you as someone who is not really committed to fight for his land. And this gives them the idea that they can really obliterate you, exterminate you. So these people understand strength, and if you show weakness, this like herds of sharks, they feel it like blood, So if we want to survive here as Israelis, and I'm speaking now only about Israelis, this is a lesson to all the world. All the other Western countries in the world, and even not Western countries, I mean all non-Islamic countries, they all have to understand, against Islam you have to be strong. You cannot show any weakness. You cannot release any terrorists for hostages or anything like that. You have to pay the price, and if you don't pay the price, you'll pay much greater price, as what happened to us on October the 7th with this horrible massacre.
Ilan, if we zoom out from Israel's example, and we take, for example, the randomest country in the world, for example, I don't know, Croatia. Croatia has now a hostage situation with Muslim terrorists that took some hostages. You're saying that you cannot negotiate with them. You cannot release any terrorists to free those hostages. So basically you're saying that these hostages are doomed and you cannot do anything to free them?
No, what I'm saying is that you have to fight for their release, and to do anything for that. For example, let's take the Entebbe operation in 1976. In 1976, the Fatah abducted 100 Israelis from the Air France flight to Entebbe and took them to Entebbe in Uganda, and Israel did this magnificent operation and saved them. Okay, we paid for that. We took the risk and we released them. But nobody ever thought at that time it's possible to release even one terrorist for them. And we all knew at that time why we do it. Because once you do that, once you collapse against the pressure, then it cannot be stopped. Okay, and now we are suffering the consequences of the Shalit deal. Shalit deal, yes, in 2011, I think. So we paid for the Shalit deal now, and we are going to pay for this deal in the future, but this payment every time will be much greater. So we have to change from the basis. We need to return to what we were in the 1970s. Otherwise, I don't see any chance we can survive here.
And what would you say to the West, who views Israel as an occupying force that is, occupying and persecuting these poor Palestinians? What would you say to them? Why is their perception wrong?
Well, first of all, I think it's really the opposite situation. We are the weak people. We are surrounded by hundreds of millions of Muslims and Palestinians as well, part of them, who want to exterminate us. No question about that. Now we just got this. What happened in the October the 7th was exactly the example for that. But the world really really doesn't want to see that, and it is not because it's not the truth. The world doesn't want to see the truth, because the world acts according to the power of the parties. When you are weak and the other side is so strong, everybody will side with the strong person. I mean, in 1967, for example, we had a great, war in the Six Days War. We occupied huge parts, Sinai and Golan and everything, and we won against 3 other armies. Countries' armies, not terrorist organizations' armies, right?
Egypt,
right?
Syria, Jordan.
Yeah, Syria, Jordan, and Egypt. And after this war, Israel became, everybody all over the world really admired Israel. Moshe Dayan became an admired person. All the world talked about us because we were strong. The world understands, goes with the strong. Now, what happens now is that we showed weakness. Great weakness, first of all, with the massacre, and even greater weakness without retaliation for this massacre, just collapsing like that. So this is what we get now. We get now the world that sees that us as weak, and he doesn't want to side the weak side. If we change change everything and we start to fight. And what I mean by fight is, first of all, conquering. First of all, there's only one way to eliminate Hamas. Only one way. You have to conquer the the Gaza Strip. Mm-hmm. It's by the way, it's not complicated. You just need to occupy this, first of all, strip of land just next to what we call the Philadelphia axis, in the south of the Gaza Strip, and then besiege. In that way, besiege the Gaza Strip, and then start to cleanse it. Just clear it from Hamas forces.
For our viewers, the Philadelphia axis is basically the barrier between between Egypt and the Gaza Strip. It's basically the passage through which all the contraband and all the illegal shipments get to Hamas.
That's right. And if we did that, everything would have changed, because once we take control over the West Bank, then it's possible really to eliminate Hamas, because Hamas is part of Gaza. It's not a different thing. It's not. People say that, well, Hamas is a different part. If you take Hamas from Gaza, everything will be okay. No, if we take Hamas now and put them on an island in the Pacific Ocean, for example, and take them and all the weaponry out to an island in the Pacific, and return after a few years to the Gaza Strip, we'll find again Hamas and again the weapons. Why? Because Hamas is Gaza. This is something that is that it is growing in Hamas and growing in Gaza, and will grow in every Palestinian population which is not a state. A real state, because we have to remember that the Palestinians they're not settling for making their home country in Gaza Strip. They want to establish their state in Tel Aviv, on our bodies.
So you said that Hamas is basically the expression of Gaza. It's what Gaza is.
Yeah, that's right.
But is it only the Gazan expression or the whole Muslim expression? Because what I mean by that is Islamic terrorism in general an expression of the Islamic faith as it is nowadays?
Well, first of all, it's double expression, because Hamas is also is expression of Islam, first of all, but also of its expression of the Palestinian will to establish a state. So it's something mixed together. Yes, right. It has national aspect and has religious aspect. But for example, let me give you an example. If you could see that the Hamas assassinated many Thai workers. I don't remember the number, but
30.
But they killed them. They knew that they are from Thailand. Yeah, right. Why would they kill? I'm asking you. Why would they kill workers from Thailand?
Just an expression of brutality.
No, I think this is expression of the Islamic aspect. We have to remember that even the people from Thailand are they should be eradicated by
Right,
Islam
because
they
they're
are
Buddhists.
Yeah, because they're other people, right? So, and I read something about that. Somewhere I read about it, that this is really the reason, by the way. Some Palestinians say that, even so. I think that their behavior shows that they have two aspects. I mean, the principal aspect is really the Islamic aspect, but of course they have this national idea. It's not like Daesh, I know it's ISIS, sorry. It's not like ISIS in Iraq exactly. This is a different Islam. This is Palestinian Islam. Mm-hmm. So it has the two. I think it has the two aspects in it.
So both Palestinian nationalism and Islamic fundamentalism.
Yeah,
you see Hamas as a connection of those two things.
Yes. But still, I think the Islamic idea is the main one. Yeah.
You mentioned another very interesting point. You were talking about the weakness of Israel, and that our current conception is basically a cause, was caused by that weakness, right? Our conception of seeing Hamas as a partner and being weak and being nice and freeing terrorists in return for hostages. Well, we kind of see the same process going in the whole West, right? We see the West not being militant, not willing to fight for its own country, for its own motherland, and for its people. Is that part of the same process, or is the Israeli process distant from that process? We have our own independent process of weakening.
Yeah, that's a great question. First of all, I think we are all humans, and it's very difficult to stand against a religious so strong and committed to conquer and kill you. So everybody which is weaker than the Islam, and everybody, let me tell you the truth, all the religions in the world are weaker than Islam. So when you're weak, you're trying to bury your head in the sand, and you don't want to see the reality, because if you see the reality, if you admit that, you have to make changes. For example, it's quite obvious that if you, for example, a German person, yes, so you'll need to change all the democratic system in order to discriminate between Muslims and non-Muslims. And the West is not willing to discriminate anymore. It sees it as a discrimination. But these people from Islam are willing to kill you, to kill everybody which is not Muslim. And this is their notion, this is the idea. So in Germany, they'll kill, in the end, or this is what they aim at, killing all the non-Muslim Germans. That's very easy, very simple. And the West is not willing to pay the price. And to pay the price here is to waive all these ideas of, Western ideas, progressive ideas, and return to the notions of the 19th century, for example, or before, of patriotism, of discrimination between people, some people call it, defending democracy. So the world, unless the world changes, it's doomed, and it's only a question of time. It can take hundreds of years, and I don't know how much time it will take, but it will happen. And the war is going to have great wars on that in every country. Every country will be the same situation as in Israel. Yeah.
Do you see that the Western world and Israel are in the same boat, basically? And because of that, if that's true, then America and the West should be together with Israel, supporting Israel?
Well, it's not that's a good question. It reminds me of 1938. 1938 and the Second World War. I remind everybody, there was some kind of, it reminds a little bit, it resembles a little bit, because there was Czechoslovakia, and Hitler, we remember, demanded parts of Czechoslovakia. Czechoslovakia wanted to fight, but the Western world sold it to Hitler, okay, to Nazis. And why? Because in the Munich Agreement, because it felt that it's possible just to feed the hungry lion, and the lion would not attack them. So this is exactly what happens now. It might happen now. The world is quite. The world is quite let's say in the same situation. I mean, they try to feed the hungry lion. The hungry lion is Islam, okay? So maybe if they sell us, okay, so it will take more time. So I think it's quite obvious that we will try to sell us, and we are playing to their hands. We are acting like we're making a massacre for example, in Gaza. For us, for internal purposes, it looks good, right? But for external purposes to the world, it looks like views from the Second World War. Exactly. We can't really bomb all the time. We have to remember that we are part of a world that can sell us. And how would it sell us? It would sell us, for example, in the way of banning us. For example, if the Western world starts to ban Israel, we are doomed. We cannot put ourselves in that situation. So until now...
It's a very interesting point, because in Israel we hear many voices of people saying, why do you care about what the West has to say? We just have to destroy Gaza, destroy all the terrorists. And basically you're saying that no, like there's no such thing.
Because all those people do not have any understanding of our situation in the world, and that we are dependent upon a kind of a support. I'm the last person that would say to bow to other countries. No. But there are limits you cannot pass. For example, let me give you an example. If, for example, the world decides to not let us participate in the Olympic Games, for example, or even tell us, for example, just you participate under a natural flag, like Russia. Now, we are not Russia. We have to understand. Russia intimidates the world. It has a lot of nuclear power. It can destroy the world many times. We are just 7 million people. So if it happens to us, now this will be the trigger to everybody, regarding us as like, South Africa or something. Or Rhodesia, Rhodesia, Zimbabwe, yeah. Remember? So if this happens, we are doomed again. I mean, we are finished. We cannot let us be in this position. So we have to remember that until now, for example, we could have used this massacre in order to conquer the Gaza Strip and just verify that there would be no Hamas. Without killing too many people, you not need to kill other people other than the Hamas if you do that by, entering force to the land. But what we did is using aircraft, just bombing and
destroying Gaza.
Yeah, and it looks like, even though we really didn't kill many people from Gaza, it looks to the world like Second World War views. We are doing all the mistakes, and the Hamas really laughs at us. Really, it's unbelievable for them. We are just releasing terrorists. We give them the views of the Second World War. The world is against us because
we don't really achieve our goals.
Of course we don't achieve. We are just going in exactly the opposite way that we should have gone. So we have to change it from the basis.
Well, I really much hope that we won't become the next Rhodesia. Ilan, it was very nice to speak to you. Thank you to all our viewers who saw this interview. You are watching the Top Jewish News channel. Please follow us on all of our platforms in the social media, in TikTok, in YouTube, in WhatsApp, in Telegram, and have a great day. Thank you very much.